love the flow. 69, now it's time for new, believable people, and we must do it. If we don't control insiders, this will be over and over. To lead by an any big fat love. America first. America first.
Welcome back to the Laughing Ogres channel. Today I'll be doing another stream of consciousness rant. Most of you know exactly what I mean when I say that. That means that I'll have no scorecard over here to my left. I just got done watching a little video that I did for the Hard Bastard before I started this one. It's important to me there's no cuts or anything. And no matter how ridiculous, or even if I lose my train of thought, I don't care what happens. I want you to see what I say and how I say it from beginning to end, because the mind, in a conscious stream of thought relating from my mind to your mind, is the most powerful thing there is. You know, right now you can hear roosters in the background. I heard a ding a couple times, and I know Mrs. Ogre, she's very cool, and she knows I'm out here, and I want to be able to be the Laughing Ogre, a person that steps outside themselves and allows this stream of consciousness to flow to you. Today I want to talk specifically, I want to plunge into the river of consciousness with this idea of news, not fake news, and I'm gonna say why right off the bat. Correct is a wonderful word. That math problem is correct, little Dustin. That math problem is absolutely false, little Billy. Little Susie, that trigonometry problem is correct. That formulae is worked out correctly. Correct is a perfect, a beautiful word. For those of you that haven't read the book 1984 by George Orwell, it is a prerequisite to watching this channel. Correct is a wonderful word. Now let's take that word and let's add something to it. Politically correct. You no longer have that test. That problem, little Joseph, is correct. You have politically correct. You did good enough on that test. Therefore, go into the STEM if you want to give it a shot, even though you shouldn't be there. Because I shouldn't have never, they shouldn't have allowed me to walk on the side of the school where they taught mathematics, science, and the law. STEM is what they call it. Everybody knows what that means. If I need to define something, put it in the comments and I'll define it. If you hear me say something and it sounds like I mumbled it or said it fast because I spat it forth out of the stream of consciousness that is the jumble of my brain, wherein this vast array of whatever it is exists, and I'm going to share it with you. So politically correct, the word is different. You've ruined a perfectly good word and you've turned it into news speak. Now you got to be politically correct. You can't say a bunch of stuff. And you watch my previous videos, I will say what I want to say when I want to say it. But I ain't going to be titular either. I'm not going to be provocative to the point where I do something simply for a reaction. It's not. Life isn't about that. Life is about being who you are, accepting who that person is, and loving it, loving the ones you love, and loving you, loving, for you atheist folks, love what came before you, your ancestors. Then, if you don't want to, hey, I'm not going to tell anybody how to believe right this second, and probably never. Fake news. You had a perfectly good word, news. When I want my news, I go to some strange places, some people would say. I go to, I'm going to give him a shout right off the bat just because he struck me, and he's like, I don't know how this is happening. Look at him, I don't mean to mock you. hard bastard, because I keep saying it in my head. I would love nothing more than to shake your hand, have a big tall latte, cup of coffee is what I drink, and like having 2 hours to prep for debate against the Young Turks panel of their choice. I don't care how many it was. Just me and you. We would fuck. It wouldn't even be fair, because I'd do it alone. I think you could do it alone also. But I'll go to the Hard Bastard to get some news. Man, he's good. Check him out. I'll put a link to him and to Mark Dice, because, you know, Mark's getting famous now. And, you know, he's handling it. I'll say it once again, you can buy his books on Kindle, but whatever. Go ahead, Mark. Sell your devil books on Kindle. You know, you can't save the world. You're not Superman. You can't save the world all in one fell swoop. Fake news? Are you kidding me? Ronald Reagan was running against a individual. I have so many words I could use, folks, and I don't want to get disrespectful, but he was running against a human being. I want to say this again, there's nothing in front of me. This is just straight from my memory. I want to say it was from Wisconsin. If not, it was Minnesota. Wisconsin is just ringing the ding-a-dinga. Walter Mondale. He picked this person, Gerald D. Farrar. Walter Mondale said, they just joke about where's the beef. And if you're a millennial like myself, or excuse me, a Generation Xer, I should have said. I think about millennials a lot because we're so similar. We are the same, you millennials. That's why Gavin McInnes is so famous. And I go to Gavin McInnes also to get news, but that's why he's so famous, because he is a Generation Xer that just learned technology. And all a millennial is a Generation Xer with a freaking iPad and like a camera, and he can post the stuff. It's like a bunch of people in the backyard. You know, some of those people are just goof-offs, and we love to watch them too. As a matter of fact, the goof-offs, like the, you know, watch morons fall off of skateboards and little kitty cats play the piano, they get 12 billion views a second. And then people like, hell, I'll even say Sargon of Akkad, because he's huge, but man, when you look at some of the most driveling, stupid, moronic hill of horse manure that you've ever seen in your life, you know, it'll get trillions of views. And in some cases, it's in news. Like the Hard Bastard is proven. He's like, I don't know what happened. And he's connected. He's not stupid. The guy takes the Young Turks and single-handedly is like, watch this. I did that before. I'm not gonna try to be titular or revamp. But you know, when I go get my news, I go to the MSN, mainstream media, or as I hear it also called by a lot of people, the legacy media. I believe the bastard himself calls it legacy media. And Bill Still, if you don't know who he is, still reporting from Washington D.C., I believe. Bill Still, check him out. Now there's some real news. Before Donald Trump won, he was like, look, man, listen to me. This is insanity. And he would throw out. I mean, look at his archives. Bill Still. Look at the archives. You know what date Donald Trump won. You know what date Hillary was defeated, just humbled. And please, I don't really want to say much more. For A, it's my opinion. And B, you know, man, I don't want to be killed. The folk around them people, man, just drop like flies, man. You hear one minute go, the next is like, oh my goodness. I met Mrs. Clinton once, and I told her, I was walking out of the bathroom, and I said, my goodness, it smells like somebody took the most rotten dump in there I've ever smelled in my life. And Hillary Clinton was in the hallway. I bumped into her while I was saying that, and then the next week, the woman's dead. You know, so you apparently got to watch what you say about them people, but she was crushingly defeated, didn't even come out. And Donald Trump, you'll probably never see this dang old video, but if you do, if some weird thing happens, to like the bastard, probably will. Who knows who else? I think I will one day. I always think I'll do as good as I possibly could. Listen, Donald, wouldn't you have come out and just said, look, I lost, I tried my best, I lost? Of course you would have, man. Why didn't you come out and say, I tried my best, I lost? I'm not going to leave the range of the camera. I told you, stream of consciousness, and you know, the man's got to wet his whistle. I got a little sticky. Red Stripe doing the deal today. So Bill Still, you know, you want some fake news, in my humble opinion, you know, go turn on any of them on the regular. In fact, I think on my channel, the government is trying to tell you some shit, man. I watched that shit, man. The government was talking about relaxing. Watch the talking heads of MSN and NBC and all these things, alphabet soup of just like the NSA and the CIA and FBI. Ooh. You know, and again, I'll just, you know, it's my one person's humble opinion about whether or not the alphabet soup, anything is good. But anyway, if you want that opinion, I say no. You know, keep things compartmentalized, yes, but don't keep them compartmentalized so that everybody can lie and nobody knows about it. So fake news, man, fake is what fake does. You go back and you watch before the last, year and a half. Look what happened when I said something about Ann Coulter in an earlier video. I always mention it when she said on Bill Maher, you know, oh, of all the candidates right now, Mrs. Coulter, you know, which one you reckon will? Oh, I think of all the candidates right now, Donald Trump. You know, she stood there just like this. That is one cold, stone cold, man. I was looking through the Bugle notes because I was refused for reasons I won't talk about now into the Airborne Rangers around 1991. Would have liked to have went there, but I did not. And I probably could have. It was me. It was not. I've heard the hard bastard. Man, I keep talking about it. You know, I ain't going to F him right now, but dang on it, you're in my head right now because you are good. You're good. Keep going. Fake news? You got to be kidding me. Fake is what fake does. And you know, you look at the past to see what's coming. Don't buy news speak. Words are good on their own. You either have correct or politically correct. You either have news or you have fake news. You know, in some cases it's do I like this perspective, but I'm gonna be honest. As much as I like Sargon of Akkad or man, let me dig deep here. In fact, I'm gonna cheat right now. You know what? Screw it. I hear that fat guy that he even says he said he'd rather be quoted this way, called this instead of by his name, the one that will not be named, from Austin, Texas. Oh, you call me the one that won't be named, Austin, Texas. Oh, y'all know what I'm talking about. For some reason, all of a sudden, just went like, turn to the right, like the right is our savior. Talking to Mrs. Ogre about that today, and I can see in her face. Look, I love Trump. I ain't no joke. I say it all the time. I got the button on the hat, man. The ogre's costume involves a mockery of Moloch and Trump. But I hate Moloch, and I do like Trump. I was for Trump when that happened with Mrs. Coulter, and I'm for him to this day. Get your news from people that you disagree with sometimes. I go to the Young Turks and watch their point of view all the time, and it's usually on stuff I don't know if I'd classify it as news. You want some hard-hitting news, go to places like, you know, with all due respect, Mark Dice, the hard bastard. Come to myself. I'm going to cover some serious stuff here in about a 8-minute video yet today. This is just a rant to say, you know, I'm out here and check me out. And this is what I think about news and fake news. And it's news speak. Speak and news are both good words. Put them together. You have an Orwellian nightmare. You only get one plug per channel with like holding up of the product. But that particular author, who I plugged his website just a second ago, Mark Dice, has other books that, you know, Mrs. Ogre's taken to work and read, and people have seen on her desk, and very good books about the Illuminati and music and fact or fiction, Illuminati. Some really good books that aren't just full of opinion. I mean, it's full of references at the bottom of every page. It's not like I think, nah. It's like, well, this is how it is. And he will put a little bit of like, my hypothesis is thus and such, but then he'll tell you why it is, not just like, oh, watch this. That's what I think, you know. That's not how life is. You can't just be like, I don't even want to insert a race or anything here, so I'm going to use my own. I'm white, therefore. That days are over. You know, white. If you believe in white privilege, you're insane. I don't want to. Anybody that knows me right now. I'm not going very far out of my way to hide who I am. But the privilege that I personally got, man, it came from the loss of a beloved person. It's so weird. It's almost like a rich uncle. And bam, I'm gonna stop right there. I've heard that from people. Now I understand, because I'm not gonna edit this. I'm gonna upload it right to whoever. 16 people, might end up being 1,600, may end up being 160. Who cares? I'm uploading it for the world to see. It was serendipity for me, folks. Is the reason I am where I am. It's not because I'm super smart or I'm white or my father was Jewish or my mother was, Irish and Jewish. It's because I am the ogre. I'm not sorry for that. But I know folks that are way worse off than me that ain't sorry for that, and people that are better off and ain't sorry for that. So, well, I guess, I just looked up, I got 16 minutes in. Again, put in the comments if you think I'm going a little long. I see some people rant and raving for 30 minutes, but I'm going to get my stuff together a little bit. There's some news today that's, I think about these things, and you're always going to have this idea of, and now it is becoming, I hear the institutional, insert something here like institutional racism. In this country, doesn't exist. Institutional prejudice against homosexuals. In this country, doesn't exist. Institutional better for a white woman, doesn't exist. And I'd say the white woman, watch this, institutional, it's better for the Chinese woman, doesn't exist. Institutional is better for the Indian American, doesn't exist. Now, Mrs. Ogre works with other ogres that are originally from Pakistan, and those ogres are extremely wealthy. Hey man, them ogres did what they had to do. They walked on the other side of the college where they taught the STEM, and now they're radiologists and anesthetists and other ists, and some things I probably couldn't even say if somebody looked right at me and give me the English word for it, which is probably Latin. Anyway, my conscious stream of thought today was about news. Forget about the beginning word. There is no beginning word. It's either news or it's not. Someone is either presenting you with things you can see. Especially for myself, there are always faith-based issues for people like, I'm not going to call anyone out at this point. For some folks, it deals with in matter of fact, I can say for everyone, it deals with how did we get here? How are we in this spot right now in the universe where we're at? And the answer to that is 42. That was so stupid. I just blurted out. There you go. The author of The Cafe at the End of the Universe and Hitchhiker to the Galaxy and whatnot. Daniel Spa's name is eluding me. But shout out to him, I reckon, anyway. Alright, well, this is the Ogre reminding you, don't combine another word with an already perfectly good word unless you intend to change the meaning of that word. And in this case, it's news. Go get your news from a place like Mark Dice. You want some good SJW news. Go check out Milo or Milo Uniopolis. Hell, go check out the gay Milo. I actually think I'm not sure what gender, ask that gender, the person Milo, and they will tell you what they are. I'm sorry, man. I'm not even going to cut that out. I'm only laughing because I wouldn't intentionally offend anyone. I've read Moby Dick several times, and there's a very good passage in there where one of the main characters is Queequeg. Well, he is in the beginning. He kind of becomes a minor character later in the book, but in the beginning he's one of the main characters, along with Ishmael, who, as the narrator of the book, also becomes one of the minor characters pretty much after they board the ship and have a toast of grog with crazy Captain Ahab to say that they're going to go on and they're going to sail the seas. And he says, you know, this is, I don't want to make it too long, but the context is he snuck into the room of this guy earlier, Ishmael has, who's a Christian white man. He snuck into this black tattooed cannibal from the island of Cocoboco's room a couple nights before, and the guy treated him good once he figured out what the deal actually was. He didn't kill him like he was planning on it with his harpoon. He actually let it live. And so a couple nights have gone by, and here he is. That night, the first night that he snuck in there, he was under the covers and he watched Queequeg building a fire to his little idol, and like idol worshiping this little thing of wood. And so later on in the story, he notices that his new friend now is getting ready to worship his Lord. This is so hard for me to say, but I believe it's true. We have to be very careful. I do. I have to be very careful because I believe in a God. His name is God. He had a son, and he has a very powerful third that we refer to as a spirit. I have no idea what their real names are. It actually says that we'll all get new names. So, but he notices that he's about ready to start this ritual that he saw as he was peeping the first night he snuck into this man's room, this cannibal's room. He thought to himself, what am I going to do? He's going to worship his God. Is he going to ask me to worship his God with him? And he says, well, what would I want Queequeg to do if the shoe was on the other foot? Listen, I'm putting this in English. Go read the book, Moby Dick. It's very good. Herman Melville, written around 1840-ish, 1840, by hand. So what am I going to do? Queequeg is going to worship his God. What would I want him to do if I was going to church? I'm a Presbyterian. He said, I would want him to join me in my form of worship, which just happens to be Presbyterian. He said, therefore, if I want to be Christ-like, if I want to do what I want someone to do to me, I have to join him. He said, therefore, I must turn idolater. I will not turn idolater. You know, I love the Lord. I love the hope that gives me. I do. I don't care. Y'all call it whatever you want. I'm not even going to give the names out with my mouth right now. You can make fun of me in the comments, whatever you want to do. Doesn't matter to me. But I'll say I love what I love, and I love the idea of God that comes from Abraham, the God that created Adam and Eve. Get your news correctly. Don't bow down to the idol of SJWism and to this new thing that they're talking about, this fake news. If you want some real news, go to Drudge. Go to Mark Dice. Go check out the Hard Bastard. He won't mess around with them either. None of these people will mess around with him. Go check out a guy named, what's his name? Adam Kokesh. I said I was going to pop up the thing and I didn't even do it. There's some good ones over here, but you know, I don't want to really say too many. A lot of them are very, very famous already. Vernaculus is very good. You know, Steven Crowder, of course, I feel almost bad, but he's really famous. He doesn't need my plug. But he's good. In fact, I wouldn't start my bumper with Pogo if it wasn't for Steven Crowder. So I got to give a little shout out to him. Atheism is unstoppable. You know, I'm really a big Trump guy, but today he was belly aching about Trump and had him like a little baby. It was kind of funny anyway. It was funny, man. It was good. It was a good job. Atheism is unstoppable. I mean, look at his name. I'm a devout Christian, and he's like, atheism is unstoppable. Whatever your bag is, dude. Man, all right, fine then. Gary Franchi, Next News Network. He's all right. Just, you know, he's a clickbaiter, but he does have some solid news. Undoomed is always good. You know, these people are actually sources of news. If for a lot of the ones I'm giving you, just go to Drudge if you want it all in aggregate, and you can read about what's going on that day. You really can. And there's other places you can go dig even deeper. Oh my goodness, this video is 25 minutes long. I guess I won't be doing 2 videos today. Sargon Akkad, I've already mentioned. Easy on me. I'm going to respectfully do it's a reply video, and like I said, it's always going to be a consciousness of thought. So I have one of his videos about I hate Islam from Easy on Me, and man, he's really good too. News. You want to know the truth about Islam? Ask somebody that's been from there. I would like to ask the hard bastard for them, you know, for him to, if he cares to, for him to maybe tell us something about, you know, how hard it was to get out of the strange cult that he was in. Because even though I'm a Christian, I understand that within Christianity there's many cults. You know, Christianity only got its power from the Mithras, from the ones that worship Mithra in Rome, and gave the power through Constantine. You know, Constantine just said, who knows if that happened? I don't want to just you know, whatever. But Constantine said he saw the sign, and then all of a sudden he made everybody walk through a river, and you're all Christians. And then he won an outrageous battle. Unbelievable. He just kicked their butt. So, of course, at the end you can say, God made me do it. And I'm not, whatever. I believe God lets everything happen, but maybe not the way the winners or losers say. Keep on watching The Laughing Ogre. Look in the descriptions for some links, maybe to Mark Dice and Hard Bastard, Sargon Akkad. I'll put 3 or 4 links down there. Check out some real news. Check out some people with a different point of view than yourself. I may even put a Young Turks link in there. Hopefully they don't. I don't know if it's illegal or if it's wrong to do that. I'm sorry, and just send me like a cease and desist in the thing, and I won't. So don't quit doing it. But I don't think it is. I'm just going to send you a link to, you know, a Young Turks video. It's important to get other ideas.